message from Eric.
Hey Harry, I'm calling you out, dude. I challenge you to a high-stakes, high-impact, high-octane showdown, a terrain deathmatch.
Ooh, challenge accepted.
The rules are as follows. You must build one piece of terrain inspired by one of the territories in the Necromunda rulebooks. Any one of them exists. Book of Judgment, the original rulebook, whatever. And just to make it interesting, let's add some stakes. To the winner goes ultimate glory, and to the loser must watch one whole season of Young Sheldon and make a review of it to prove he watched it.
Fool! I have 3 children. I am immune to bullshit on television and radio. I am interested in the eternal glory part of things.
Do you have what it takes? Can you handle this challenge? I'm coming for you.
I made a quick sketch with some of the ideas that I have. Come take a quick look. Yes, I am fully aware of the crappiness of my drawing, but hear me out. So this is the corpse gathering area. I haven't decided how I'm going to do this yet, but I think about using some conveyor belts to transport the corpses into the meat liquefier machine. And that's the first thing that I'm going to build. And then from the liquefier all the way to the dehydration tank, from where the starch then can be pumped into containment silos. Good, clean, family-friendly content. So this is the basic structure for the liquefier. Now before I start with the other big structures, I'm going to take my time and add a bunch of details. Ah, free stuff. These are parts from an old printer from work that was going to be thrown away, not on my watch. With these parts I crafted the agitator at the center of the cylinder, which is going to crush the corpses, and then the other parts were used at the side to simulate engine parts and the drive section for the cylinders. The little belts were also recuperated. On the other side of the machine, bunch of detailing, lots of classics, cardboard, plastic mesh and floral wire, which I really like using. Very easy to bend with pliers and of course very easy to cut. Styrene rod for rivets, and then galvanized mesh or chicken wire. These are simply 1 centimeter squares, cut and bent into shape to make little ladders. It's easy, it's cheap, and they look really nice in my opinion. I make some indentations in the cardboard, then I widen the holes with a bigger needle, and then I simply push in the ladders. No need for extra glue. Some more classics on the top of the liquefier: diamond styrene, cardboard and fruit pouch caps. The aluminium paper was used to build up the fleshy mass inside the liquefier. Pressed in firmly and secured with hot glue, it's time to get out some bits. Zombie bits from a mate of mine. These are going to go into the liquefier together with a mixture of PVA glue and super glue. Change of plans. No plan of mine survives first contact with the enemy. I'm gonna change up a couple of things. I already knew I wanted this pipe on the side of the liquefier, ways to get the liquefied remains up to the dehydration tower. And here come the toy crane parts. No sci-fi project of mine can do without, it seems. Couple of reasons why. They look pretty cool with minimal effort. It's cheap, and it gives me the opportunity to make some platforms at the top so I get some structural support. Pringles can and a couple of empty tobacco jars are going to go at the back for the dehydration tower and the pumping building. And a couple of PVC pipes that I bought in the hardware store. You can find plenty of cool stuff in there to make sci-fi slash Warhammer terrain with. In order to attach these shapes to the round tobacco cans, I made these platforms out of cardboard and pieces of foam board. And now I have a nice straight section to glue detailing on. I used hot glue to attach the platforms to the tobacco cans, and then I again started by building up the shapes and adding a bunch of detailing. The building phase is done. You can see I added some magic straws at the side of the dehydration tunnel. Last piece I want to talk about is the conveyor belt. Lots of the pieces that I used on the liquefier return here. I needed something to transport the dead bodies into the liquefier, so I made a vertical model. The basic structure was made out of styrene. Time for painting. Go and check out my older videos for no more in-depth look at the paint job. However, there are some things I'm going to talk about in this video. First of all, the bloody gore in the liquefier. I start with a layer of dark red over a black base coat, immediately followed with a carmine red. I don't bother letting the layers dry. I want these all wet on wet. Finally, some light flesh to get some highlights on the fleshy parts, on the fleshy bits that I glued in, as you can see. Because I used the wet on wet technique, everything is nicely blended. Time for some more special effects. Red ink, Tamiya clear red and black wash. First I make a little mixture of black wash and the Tamiya clear red. And I paint this into the darker recesses to give a little bit of contrast. And then some dabs of the pure clear red here and there. This is very bright, very glossy. And then I make a mixture of some resin that I had lying around, couple drops of red ink, and then I simply use an old paintbrush to paint the resin over all the fleshy parts. For the other buildings I started with a base gray, and then I use a stippling technique with some pale gray blue all over the building and the tower. And this was weathered very easily with a mixture of gray wash and a bit of black wash. Painted on at the top of the lines, at the sides, and then with a simple streaking effect. For the rust on the metals I went for typhus corrosion. I really like this stuff. I'm probably going to go after a cheaper solution soon. Probably gonna use Luke's recipe for that. After the typhus corrosion is dried, I use a little bit of sepia wash to get some yellow and browns going on. That's basically it for my rust recipe. Very simple. You can alter the ratios to make it more rusty or less. After painting, it's time for the last bit of detailing. First I'm going to make some holes so I can fit in some metal wire, because I want to make some plumes of smoke coming out of the liquefier and out of the sides of the dehydration tunnel. Time to make some clump foliage kebab. With the metal wire, I simply get the pieces of clump foliage on there, and then I use a hot glue gun and smaller pieces to get to the shape that I want. That easy paint job, simply sprayed black and then with a zenithal highlight of gray. This is the effect you get. Nice plume of smoke. I attached the plumes to the exhausts with a bit of hot glue. That's it for this project. Thank you all very much for watching. Now, before we get to the money shots, a couple of thank yous. First of all, Eric from Eric's Hobby Workshop. If you haven't checked out his channel, go check it out. Like, subscribe. Go check out the terrain video he made for this project. Do not forget to put in the comments who gets to get eternal glory and who gets to watch Little Sheldon. Thomas Murphy, sir, thank you very much for your kind contribution via PayPal to this channel. Yes, in the links below are now a couple of options if you wish to support me. I also have a Patreon, and a shout out is one of the benefits. Irrational Gas, the first one. Thank you very much indeed. To the money shots. If you like what you're seeing, please like and subscribe. You know what to do. Don't forget to follow me on my social media if you want to keep up with what I'm working on. And I will see you very soon here on Dark Matter Workshop for a new video. See you soon. Bye.